Hello everyone and welcome to Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. Whether you're watching it live or back later, thank you so much for being here. It is really appreciated. And let's just head over to the comments. And already in the house, I see we have our great friend Blue from Blue Self-Reliant. So a big welcome to you. And guys, do go and check out her channel. So let's have a look at what's coming up on today's live. I do try sometimes and remember to put a few in the title, but I don't always remember, or I don't know what I'm going to put in. So sometimes I will go back and quickly edit something else in there. So today we have, of course, got our quote corner. So we have inspiring quotes there. I've got a story time today for you all about dolls. If you're into dolls, there's a story time about the creation of toy dolls. So that's very interesting. I've got a new promo for you for my channel. I'm promoting different playlists every now and then on my channel. So things you might not know are on either this channel, my other channel, or over both channels on playlists, such as previously I've been promoting, I do recipe playlists on both my channels, but something new I'm going to show you today. Question of the day, of course. Quiz, we have our quiz time today, and we see how many people get right. You're all doing really well with the quiz questions, and today it's going to be a quiz on architecture, so that will suit Blue down to the ground, I'm sure. And of course it's Friday, so to give me a little break and for a bit of fun, I enjoy looking at some of my back footage, and today I'm showing you a little clip on sorting and selling of fun costumes, fun things, costumes. So if you're interested in anything that you see, if it's still available, do email me or give me a comment and I will see if I can post it to you. It depends on what the item is, of course, but it's carnival time just coming up in Cyprus, so I thought this would be a really appropriate video to show. Let's go into the comments. Blue saying thanks for the shout out. No, as I always comment to you, Blue, no, thank you. Thank you. Blue is a tremendous supporter of this and many other channels. So let's appreciate the blue. Shall we appreciate the blue? Yes, let's appreciate the blue today with, of course, the claps. That's for Blue, and she won't mind me sharing it because she has now shared it on her own channel that she's got a oppie coming up, little operation, so do go over and give her your best wishes. I know she will appreciate that. Okay, let's begin today with Quote Corner for Friday. Oh, Blue saying, I'm so glad you said clap with an S. I know, I have to be so careful after our little laugh before. And Blue will know, sometimes I have quite a few people in the chat, and we have different comments, or I ask a quiz question, and there's lots of words and answers in my chat. And then for fun, I'll ask another question, but I will only scroll back in the chat and click on certain answers that have been put in my chat prior to that. And it makes really fun answers for a question. And I can't remember exactly what the random question was. And we were talking about this clapping thing before. And I think a previous question was talking about the 70s, and we were saying about that it sounds like a disease rather than I'm giving you claps. And I'd scrolled back to that when it was something about what is something people would shout out in the street, and I just randomly scrolled back and it was Blue talking about, well, at least it wasn't the clap. So that just went so well. So you can see how that would really work and be fun. And we have Twinbrook Acres in the house. Hello to you. And guys, don't forget to check out all the channels that you see coming in the chat. Go along and say hello. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button while you're there. So that's a hello to Rick. So go over and say hello there. And let's continue with the first thing we're going to do today. So as I said, today we're going to talk about a little bit of the history of rag and porcelain dolls. And it says, until the end of the 19th century, wax was the most popular material for making dolls, and the London wax doll makers ran very successful businesses. The dolls often represented smiling round-faced children and were cheap enough for all but the very poor to buy. Simple muslin bodies were filled with straw, and some had wigs implanted into the scalp. The moulded legs had black or orange boots painted onto the wax, and more wax was then brushed over to soften the effects of the paint. In 1901, Lucy Peck ran a doll's home in Regent Street, where high-quality model wax dolls were manufactured, and where children could take their old wax dolls in order to have real hair fixed in place. Peck's was the only manufacturer of the period to use a wired eye mechanism that allowed the doll's eyes to move. Eyeballs had a layer of wax painted over them to make them more lifelike. In America during the 1890s, hundreds of advertising dolls were made to promote cottons, dyes, and coffee, while in Britain, Barbara's Irish flax thread was promoted by a series of figures dressed in costumes based on flowers and fruits. Sunlight Soap also gave away dolls, and German breakfast foods were advertised with cut-out figures. Many of these dolls took their place in Edwardian toy cupboards alongside the more elaborate baby figures and rag dolls that also have been popular since their introduction in the 1800s. The favourite, Betty Blue, arrived in 1910. From the top of her head to the soles of her dainty brown shoes, Betty Blue is indeed a darling dolly. Most rag dolls were stuffed with wood, wool, or cork so that they could be washed. At the beginning of the 20th century, porcelain dolls were increasingly popular. Early porcelain heads were mass-produced in Germany and were attached to sawdust-filled fabric bodies. Gradually, processes were developed whereby white bisque, a type of porcelain fired to biscuit stage and left unglazed, that was left over from production in the French and German porcelain factories, were used to make the dolls' heads. Flesh tones were added, fashionable hairstyles were fixed in place, and jointed arms and legs made from the same material were attached. The resulting dolls were very lifelike, and the chubby infants continued to be popular until the 1920s. In Edwardian times, the most sought-after version, cherished by mainly little girls, had sleeping eyes and curly hair. Cheaper types had moulded hair, coarse fabric bodies, and arms and legs that were rather too small for the rest of the body. Some had glass eyes and small flowers or cones moulded into the hair, and rings, bracelets, and earrings applied to fingers, arms, and ears before firing. Some were sold undressed, with bodies made from novelty fabrics that showed the American flag or geometric designs. As Biss dolls were fragile and broke easily when dropped, companies experimented with other more durable materials such as rubber, celluloid, and metal, but Biss continued to be the most successful and the most popular. French manufacturers produced a hard composition body made from a mixture of whitening, resin, and glue that was moulded over wire frames and which gave the dolls a more lifelike appearance. In the early years of the 20th century, a new interest in child psychology led manufacturers to wonder about the child's emotion involvement with its toys and playthings. Some doll makers thought chubby, idealised babies with sleeping eyes and real hair were too perfect and left no room for the child's imagination to work. So, in 1904, the Dresden craft shops asked designers to supply ideas for more traditional dolls that showed character and personality. As these became available, retailers were highly suspicious and worried that they would not be able to sell them. But hundreds of little girls and their parents started ordering and buying them, and the new dolls in their bright costumes became a huge success. The dolls were, in the advertisers' jargon, full of individuality and character, and yet always remaining childish, so true-hearted and bright, so charming, pert and rakish. These character dolls had bisque heads, composition bodies, and bent arms and legs, with one arm bending towards the body. The eyes were painted, the mouth was slightly open, and the features far more realistic than those of the idealist dolls of the late 19th and early 20th century. Some manufacturers even filled the bodies with enough sand to give the doll some weight as a real baby. So I hope you enjoy that. There is more, but we will read that another time. I hope that was of interest to you. Okay, let's have a look today at my promo that is for another playlist on my channels. So do go over and check out my main channel, New Beginnings, my everyday life in rural Cyprus, and you will find the bugs and insects playlist there. So do take a look, and I am going to try and work through every single bug. There's quite a lot on there, but of course not everything so far. Blue Sand via the dolls. I have to admit, dolls terrified me even as a kid. My mum had a China doll she'd had as a kid, and I swear it used to move. It was proper creepy. I was never really a doll child. My mum bought me dolls, and some of you will know Tiny Tears and Teeny Tiny Tears, those sort of dolls that ate and then got rid of the food, all that kind of thing. And rag dolls, and there was one doll I had as a toddler. It was kind of a rag doll with a plastic face. I do remember carrying that everywhere, but I wasn't a dress a doll up, put it in the pram. My mum bought me cribs and cots, and it was actually a replica, I believe, a Silver Cross pram. And sometimes she used to say, right, choose some dolls, let's dress them up, put coats on and go out for a walk in the street, like to the shops with the doll. I wasn't that bothered. I think that was her childhood she was trying to bring out again. I was like, no. So I wasn't really a doll child at all, not at all. I did like my doll's house. That's a bit different. And Cindy doll, which is like a better version of a Barbie doll. I did like playing with my Cindy doll, but that was playing house rather than like playing with baby dolls. Yeah. And I got rid of all my dolls, haven't kept any of my dolls. I had a beautiful, wasn't china, but it was like, I can't remember what the face was made of, but it was very delicate. It would have broken. And also my mum got for my sister and me, there was an old-fashioned wall shop that had a post office small kiosk in the back. And they used to dress up in the shop window, really big size, full size, toddlers and babies in the knitted outfits that you could buy the knitting patterns for. And my mum got a beautiful baby for my big sister, and then she got more of a toddler one for me. I did play with that a little bit, but no, not playing babies. Maybe as well because I was quite young when my mum had my little sister. So why would you want to play baby dolls? You had a live thing going on over there. Okay, let's go on to scroll down. Let's go on to this. So today I said we're going to do a quiz on architecture. So I'm hoping, Blue, you will get all these right. This will be a good little test for you. Rick's back. Thank you, Rick. So you're just in time for Quiz Corner. So all about architecture, not too difficult. I think these are medium range. So the first question is, which civilization invented concrete? Which civilization invented concrete? Blue said, I don't know, my brain's leaking. Focus, take your mind off of things. Which civilization invented concrete? And there she goes. Romans, says Blue. Rick says Egypt. It's Romans. It's Romans. Okay, the next question. Was the Parthenon built of granite, cement, or marble? Was the Parthenon built of granite, cement, or marble? If you know the building, you'll know. If you don't, you maybe won't. Romans, yes. Yes. Blue saying marble, and the answer is marble. 2 out of 2 for Blue. Next question. In which city is the pavilion? Obviously, I'm sure you all know this one. Which city is it in? Which city? Which city? Anyone know which city it's in? Blue saying, did you know they've only just been able to recreate Roman concrete in the last 50 years? Wowza. Athens, yes, Blue. Erase that question mark. Be positive. Athens. Yes, it's in Athens. The next question. Why does Harwick Hall have lots of windows? I think you all know this. It's for the same reason a lot of buildings got rid of windows and blocked them in. It's the same reason. Why does Harwick Hall have a lot of windows? It's like, well, I say the same reason, the opposite reason to why people filled in windows. So what is the reason Harwick Hall has a lot of windows? And it doesn't matter to you which property it is. Why did many buildings have a lot of windows? For air and sun. To see who was coming. Oh dear, I thought you'd know this one. I found this one easy. It's basically, it's a sign of wealth. So the more windows you had, it made your property look bigger. So it was a sign of wealth. And that's why a lot of properties filled in windows in many countries, because they started taxing properties by how many windows they had. You've not heard of that one? Oh. Yes, that's why a lot of properties in many countries, Europe, England, maybe other countries, they started actually filling in their windows because they would come and assess your tax by how many windows you had. Okay, next one. Did the White House get water pipes or gas lighting installed first? Ooh, that's an interesting one. I've seen the answer now, but I wish I hadn't have. I would like to have guessed that. Twinbrook Acres says, before electric lights, many buildings have windows for light. You're correct on that. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, you are right for light. Absolutely. I don't know the dates of Harwick Hall. I don't actually know it. I don't know if Blue knows Harwick Hall. I don't know it. So the question is, did the White House get water pipes or gas lighting installed first? Blue says gas piping. You would have thought that. Rick says, repeat the question. Did the White House get water pipes or gas lighting installed first? Blue doesn't know Harwick Hall. You're both saying gas. You would have thought gas, wouldn't you? But no, that is not correct. It says water pipes. They got water pipes before they got gas, before they got gas lighting. Interesting. So there's an interesting fact for us all. None of us got that one. Next question. Did the Gothic style of architecture begin in Europe, Asia, or Africa? Ooh, says Blue. Did the Gothic style of architecture begin in Europe, Asia, or Africa? That's interesting. Gothic style of architecture. Blue says Europe. Did the Gothic style of architecture begin in Europe, Asia, or Africa? See if we're going to get a guess from Rick. Guess in Europe. Cross out the guessing. Just put Europe, Rick. Yes, you're both right. Europe is correct. Well done. 2 more questions. What is the name of the wooden strips that are filled with daub? D-A-U-B, because I know some of you don't get my accent. What is the name of the wooden strips that are filled in with daub, or some do say dab, but it's daub, D-A-U-B. So if you think of the phrase when you hear people doing DIY on old construction, they say daub, and wattle says blue. Twaddle wattle. Wattle says blue. Just see if Rick wants to answer or no. Yeah, it was funny. I've had terrible trouble with my laptop and internet, and it's YouTube, really. It's YouTube. I shouldn't blame the internet. It's what do you call them? Like platforms, like your main platform system on your computer. And some things work on one browser, that's the word. Some things work on one browser, some work on another, some work on another. And I said to Mike, I'm not really happy with that, because the more you keep putting up, let's say your Gmail on different platforms, the more chance you've technically got of being hacked, really. And I've got all these different browser platforms like Chrome. Chrome is so terribly hackable, but those kind of things, is it platforms, browsers, whatever you call them. And I had so much trouble with those that Mike's told me another one that he uses. And even though ad blockers work, there's some things that ad blockers don't work on, or they do work, and then things such as YouTube have suddenly found a way to stop your ad blockers even working. So he said, go on to Brave. Now, if any of you are having any issues, go on to Brave. You don't have to get an ad blocker like extension when you use Brave. It's got its own. And YouTube and anything like that that shows ads can't break their wall like a normal ad blocker. Some work, some don't. They can't break it because it's part of the construction of Brave format. So I've been using that. Anyway, the reason was I came on here yesterday because StreamYard, because I can't open up that and allow StreamYard in, which I had to do on my other browsers. I wasn't sure if I could share a video with you like I sometimes share. So I went on live. I said to Mike, right, can you just put yours on? And I ran a test yesterday because I couldn't allow StreamYard to go through that blocker because it's not a normal blocker, if that makes sense. And so he went on and he could hear me talking, saying, right, can you hear me now? Can you see this YouTube playing? Blah, blah, blah. And he kept going, I can hear you in there, but I can't hear you here. I went, no, you're delayed. You're behind. You won't hear it yet. And then I could hear myself in the other room saying the first bit of what I said. Okay, so the answer correct you got is wattle. Wattle. Blue got it right, wattle. Blue saying it's an old medieval way of building walls for cheap housing here in the UK. The dawn is normally made with daub, I think you mean, is normally made with mud, clay, cow manure and straw. Rick saying thanks for that info, daub. Oh, you got it right there. Yeah, I'm not made with those things. I'm normally made with mud, clay, cow manure and straw. No wonder I collapse a lot. Rick saying, okay, that was used here too for many frontier homes. Can't remember what it was called there. May well have been called something else, I don't know. And I had a Victorian house and an Edwardian house in England, and lath and plaster was the way they built those, which is very thin strips of wood, like with gaps, big gaps between, but horsehair was pushed inside. And then they used to just kind of cover the top. So, yeah, lath and plaster was what my houses were made of. Okay, last one. Oh, we won't get this because we don't know what Hardwick Hall is. Who built Hardwick Hall? Well, I guess we're not going to know that because we don't even know Hardwick Hall. So I'll give you the answer. It was Bess of Hardwick. Bess? Not Good Queen Bess, was it? Good Queen Bess? Who knows? Bess of Hardwick. So that's one for Blue to look up later and find out more about that. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. So if any of you do know Hardwick Hall, then do let me know in the comments and where it is. I know I could look it up. I don't tend to search things. Could actually sit there and look it up. Oh dear. Okay. Blue says, oh, yeah, I've read that. You're welcome. And I read that one from Rick there. So let's go on now. Let's first of all give you my times of my lives on my other channel, because somebody was asking me about that. So this is my days and times of posting and lives on my main channel. Okay, so you have all the information there. Let's go on to this. I was just having a little mambo there. We should have a little vote of what little interlude piece of music you like best of all my music. What little interlude you like. That's why part of making these I like to do is do the music. And that's probably one of my favourite parts of editing. I do like that. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's go on to, questions a day. That's it. I've already played the interlude. I was getting excited then. So today's question is, what is your favourite room in your house and why? What is your favourite room in your house and why? So, your favourite room in your house. That's going to be completely different to what room I spend most of my time in. I spend probably most of my time in this room because this is where I do things. So this is where I do YouTube. If I'm obviously on the laptop, if I'm watching anything without mic, I sit here. So this area, it's actually quite a big room. You would have seen it on many video. It's a long room. This is the width, and then we've got length there. So this is the room I spend most of my time in, which is why I've tried to make it a little bit more streamlined and nice things out, but not too many things out. My favourite actual room. I like my sunroom probably the best because it's got big windows all the way along it and I can see my garden. I don't like to spend time indoors. really, unless it's winter or raining. I don't like to spend time indoors. I don't spend much time in my bedroom. I literally go to my bedroom to go to bed. And when I'm sick, obviously I spend a lot more time in there. Twinbrook Acres says, inside the house, my office, otherwise my barn. Oh, I love your barn. Your barn. I used to spend most of my time in one of my outbuildings, which we turned into a dance studio. So I did used to spend a lot of time there. Oh, no. Exchange his mind. My screen porch is my favourite. Oh, yes. A nice porch. That's similar reasons for my sun lounge, because it's indoor, outdoor. As I say, big glass windows all the way along. It's not the best room to be in right now for two reasons. One reason being that I have my indoor growing there, so I have all my big shelves up with things. So when you sit on the sofa in there, you're not admiring the lovely view. And secondly, me and Mike were funnily talking about this morning. All our sofas are completely threadbare. They're not broken, or there's nothing wrong with them, but they're absolutely threadbare. And this is our chat this morning, was that it doesn't matter what material we put in the sun lounge, because that's the direction of the heat and the light and everything. No fabric seems to work well there. So maybe blue, because you're brilliant, that kind of thing. We were saying the only material that hasn't worn, or not just faded, worn, as in shreds, we want to cover them. The only thing that hasn't worn there at all is like car rugs. So do you have an idea of what would be the best sort of material if we were to buy it to cover them with? Mike did go out and bought loads of big king size quilts, like quilt covers, because they were so cheap. He said, we'll cover it with that. And I said to him this morning, I don't think it's worth it. The time of doing it, we've got options. Now he's got a little pension. I said to him, maybe go and see if there's an upholsterer that would come and do it. We can't take the furniture, and we would do the ones in our lounge as well. And a long time ago, Blue did say, if you want to know how to do them, we connect. And she would do whatever Mike needs. I can't do it, but whatever Mike needs, step by step, or show her, right, we've done this bit, how do we cut the pattern, and that kind of thing. So we may be coming to you in the future for that, not right now, but in the future. But we're just thinking material. I don't want to buy something and it doesn't last with the heat and the light. And as I say, they're absolutely threadbare. They are disgusting. There's like nothing left of them. It looks like wild dogs. A whole pack of them have come in and shredded the thing. But as I say, the actual sofa, there's a sofa and an armchair out there. And then in our winter lounge, there's a sofa. Is that all? Yes, there's also an old little sofa that was the only thing I bought from England to sit on, just so we had something. But the cats have that. The cat's got that, so I'm not that worried about that one. So it's like a 4-seater sofa, a 2-seater sofa, and an armchair in total. But as I say, I'm really thinking about car rugs and sewing those together. But the first thing is Mike's going to go into a material shop. They have a notice board where they have those sort of adverts on. So he's going to first of all find out how much to get someone to come and do it. Because if we have a thick fabric, I haven't got the needles for on a sewing machine. I don't really want to be bothering to do that. So because he's got a little pension, he's going to pay for it out of that if it's not too much. But also we might get better advice on proper upholstery material. I wonder if we get some advice on that. So that's another option. But as I say, the car rugs, they've been out there, because I laid them over the arms, and they must have been out there 3-4 years. They're slightly faded, but not terribly. But I don't know if we can even get car rugs out here, or what sort of price they are. Are they expensive? I don't know. And I said to Mike, that might look quite nice anyway. So we're just starting to think seriously about that, think of different options and see where we go from there. Need to tend to the matters. Take care. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your company and your time. Much appreciated. Yeah, so Sun Lounge really is my favourite room, I would say. I don't like my kitchen. I like the size of the kitchen, but I would love a country cottage kitchen or a French kitchen, you know, with all the freestanding. I've got a dresser, a pine dresser, but that kind of like sideboardy pine. I would like to just take all the cupboards out. The only thing is, the cupboards as they are, as we bought the house, everything fits in there absolutely perfectly. And it's not a galley kitchen, but it's much longer than it is wide. So I wouldn't really be able to set out big chunky furniture that I would like. Not really. Okay, let's go on to this. So today's footage is sorting and selling. And as I say, if there's anything you see in the video that you're interested in, then drop a comment or email me and I'll figure out how much it will be to send it to you before you're committed. And there is more. There is a part 2 to this. So do look out for that as well. And this is from my other channel. So enjoy. My name's Dawn and I live in Cyprus. This isn't one of my normal type of vlogs. Normally I do things about my life in Cyprus, how I live, what I grow, the Greek language, local places. But today I would just show you something that I'm actually doing that you might be interested in. If you know, I used to run a large stage school. Now I have a lot of costumes, masks, props, things that I don't need anymore, and I've been slowly taking them to the local auction house to sell and make some money. I've been making them into little bundles and gradually doing some at a time. So here's some that I'm doing for this week. So I've just got everything out, the next box to sort. Maybe you'd like to see what I've got. Now, a pig mask. I think that can go. I don't have any need for that. A rabbit mask. I certainly don't want that anymore. Oh, it's a hoop ring for a large crinoline skirt. That can go. Oh, more masks. This is mostly mask, I think, in this box. Oh, this hasn't even been used. A gorilla mask. That can go. Oh, monkey mask. I think that goes on the head like a hat. That can go. Oh, got a tail. That's a lion tail. And that can go. The box is a mask, I think. Oh, lion. That can go. What's this one? Zebra. That can go. I suppose a zebra tail. That can go. What have we got here? No, more mask. The bear. Dead fish. Oh, this, we have a fiddler on the roof. Couldn't get hold of a violin to borrow, so my husband made one for me. Basically photocopied a picture of a violin and put it on some hard board. That was quite good. That can go. Some carnival mask. I'm not going to put these in the auction, I think, until carnival time. We have carnival around Easter, just before Easter here. So I think these might sell carnival time. Charleston feather. That can go. I don't think there's very much I actually want to keep. Soldier hat. By the way, I've still got loads of dance uniform, leotards, ballet tights, tattoos, ballet shoes. If anyone's interested in buying those bulk order, I don't think they'll go in the auction. So if you're interested in that, I'll put my contact details below if you're interested in those. Got loads of Vegas type feathers. I think they can all go. Key. That was from Alice in Wonderland, I think. A mace. Oh, I think I'll keep this. This is my wrap. That was from Annie when we did Annie. Keep that. Oh, my Blues Brother tie. I think I might hang on to that. Cattail. That can go. Lots of things. Oh, I've got some fans here. I don't know if I want the fans or not. Lots of hats. I don't know what to do about the hat, but these ones can go. I needed traffic warden hats when we did Monopoly. We did a show with all board games and toys, like in a children's room. Each dance was something for a children's room. This was from Monopoly. Traffic wardens. They can go. I had to make those because I couldn't find traffic warden style hats. What else? Oh, another tail here. It could be anything, fox, dog, that can go. School tie. Maybe that can go, I'm not sure about that. I'll show you this one. I'm keeping the better hats at the moment. There's times when we go to carnival and that, so obviously some things, if I can use still, I might hang on to the better things for a minute. What else? Oh, cheerleading pom-poms. These can go, don't need those. More of them, I think there's about 20 of these. These were for the little children, handheld ones. Oh, mine from the 80s. Leg warmers. First leg warmers, when people didn't know what leg warmers were. What else we got here? Crow mask. I did that in a show, but I can't remember what that was for, some bird thing. This is a nice carnival mask. I might hang on to that one. Oops. Blues Brothers glasses. Some more mask here. We've got a Harlequin mask that we actually did in Alice in Wonderland. This was from Alice in Wonderland. We made when Alice wasn't sure what she was. We made a part there. If you're interested in seeing any clips from the shows, I'll put those up. Just more hats here. Let's go through these. We've got a white bowler hat. I might keep these for now. Another sequin hat. Lots of tag numbers. In case you don't know, I'm actually very well known for teaching and performing professionally the most different dance genres. So some of these things were mine and some not. That you can keep for a sun hat for the garden. And we're gardening. Ooh, might do that. Hang on to that one maybe. I actually performed magic in some of my shows as well. That one's got foaming to fit someone smaller. Got a black cap. Cowboy hat. Oh, this was from Monopoly. This was Professor Plum. That was good. Made a murder scene. That was very good. So I've got these hats as well. Similar to top hats, more Victorian-y looking. These were from Mary Poppins that we had for bankers. And I've got a few costumes that I've started sorting out. This is like a lovely bridesmaid type dress. We used it for Alice in Wonderland. We also had a whole load of them that we used for the children in The Sound of Music. So that's got to go, I think. That's a teen stroke adult size. That's probably. I've got a set of these silver tail coats. I think I've got 3 or 4 of those. Think about putting those in as one lot maybe. So someone's got a group. These white tail coats, obviously some tap number. Use these for. I've got 3 or 4 of those. The last thing I've sorted out right now, these tops, they look like a shirt and a waistcoat, but they're all sewn in as one. They're quite large actually, very large. So I've got those. I've sold quite a few things in the auction. Done things like photo frames, lots of stage props, walking sticks, canes, umbrellas, hoops. Oh, I had a tutu bag. If you do ballet, you'll know what a tutu bag is. It's like a big round flat bag, and you literally lay your tutu out open and it keeps it flat. I actually put some hoops in it and sold it with the hoops in, perfect size for hoops. Some gymnastic dance ribbons went. What else have we sold? Horses' heads. I'm sure someone's made those into hobby horses and made a lot of money on those. They were material horse heads that we used as the carousel in Mary Poppins. A whole box of children's ballet and dance books that sold. Box of normal books and specialist books. Some drama items, school books. What else? We've got some children's wooden chairs in the lot at the moment. Oh, a sling box. That went, I think. That's a device where you can watch TV in one country from another country. You set it up to your TV and you can watch it on your mobile or anything. 2 radiator heaters, like electric heaters that look like big radiators. They've gone. Quite a lot of different things. Old percussion instruments they sold. So I've just got some other bits to go through. I've got things now like bean bags and things like that. So I've got to decide what I'm keeping, what I'm not. I'm just selling a few stuff at a time and see where we go. So join me next time when I go through maybe another bag. Tell me if you're interested in it and I'll let you know how things go. So look out for my other vlogs. Subscribe if you want to see what other things I do, and see you next time. So I hope you enjoyed that. As I say, just a little sort out there, and you probably heard Fossil because I had the mic still open. So Fossil's come, and it's too early for your dinner, but she's been coming cuddling with me all day wherever I've sat doing things. So I'm going to finish there for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, do let me know in the comments below. And I will finish, and I will see you back on my other channel on Monday. On Monday. So thank you for being there. I do appreciate you all. Until next time. Bye for now.